What's up, guys? Back at me here at Smallville, Season 3, Episode 14, Obsession. Okay, so this episode starts off at like a Lucifer Corp field trip for Clark and Chloe, and Clark and Lionel like direct them to Lucifer Corp, and then they to like to another guy, and yeah, and then Clark and Clark talking when Clark's like, hey. But then the teacher's like, hey, Clark, why don't you take another elevator with this other girl? So, yeah, we meet this other girl. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he takes but, 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 but this elevator, it's, Clark presses it. Clark presses to go down, but the cable snapped, and they start going down. So Clark he uses heat vision, and she sees, and then and he uses to like hold the thing, and she's like, what'd you just do? So yeah, and then when the Lucifer people are about to come, she teleports him out of there, and he's like, what'd you just do? So yeah, so so she's like, I have the power to like teleport people whenever I touch them. Yeah. So people start swarming around them, talking about Clark and the growing and stuff. So then we get to the school day, and Clark and that girl are talking. We learn her name is Aisha Baker, played by Sarah Carter, who would go on to play Cicada 2 on The Flash, which. But anyway, back to this. And she's like, the meteor shower. When the meteor shower hit, I was on a swing set, and next thing I knew, I was in a cornfield. Yeah, and she's like, you're the only person I know that can relate with the meteor shower. And he's like, and you're the first, and yeah, so yeah, so yeah, so Lana, she discovers an Am journal about about her about spying on her and Clark, and she's like, I'm gonna evict you, but he's like, according to the tenant laws, you cannot evict me, so I'm gonna stay here. Yeah, starting to become a villain, and don't do it. I kind of like it. Anyway, back to he asks her on it. He in the science lab. He asks her on a date. She says yes, and they go on their first date. Where they also look at Clark's like telescope, and she reveals that she actually had a boyfriend before, but when but when he discovered her ability, he freaked out, and it didn't go well. So so she, so he takes her home, but then they kiss, and she takes her home, and yeah, but when Clark's asleep, she just appears out of nowhere and tries to sleep with Clark, and she tries to sleep with Clark, she kisses him, and yeah. So when Jonathan and Clark are talking, she discovers about Clark's meteor. I think they were on kryptonite or meteor rocks, and he says that they have a connection, and they have a connection, and they're the same, and that just gets her. That just makes her fall in love with Clark, and yeah, she puts a picture of her in her locker. She breaks into his house, and yeah, and when he goes to her parents' house, they're like, "Oh, she told me that she told us you were her boyfriend, Clark," and they seem scared, like they and because they're like because when her dad says, Clark, you last time last time she had a boyfriend, it didn't work out, and she's like, you shouldn't have said that, Dad, and you shouldn't have said that to him, Dad, and yeah. So then she gets a call about her dad being put into the hospital, and yeah, and she acts all sad, but as Clark and me ignoring, she actually did because she's like, did you put your father in the hospital? Did you knock did you make your father fall down the stairs on in the base in that tiny little room? And she's like, I did it for us, and it's just it's just and it's just like you gotta turn yourself into the authorities, and she's like, and she just disappears, and then she reappears at Clark's house, but yeah, so she tries to threaten Clark, and she's like, tell your mom I can stay and leave. So we get into the Lana story, and she tries to tell Lex how she's trying to evict Adam, but he doesn't want to leave, and yeah, yeah. So, so Lex talks to Dr. Lee Tang about it, and he's like, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, yeah. So he now Dr. Lee Tang I think works for him, Lex. So, but back to the crazy psycho Alicia stuff. She she continues to be crazy. She continues to be crazy, and Chloe's like, and he's like, and Clark devises a plan. He's like, her only. Chloe's like, I'm glad you told me. Now we can stop her. And he's like, I understand you being honorable, trying to keep her secret, and all that stuff. And yeah, yeah, yeah. So Chloe's got this plan. She's like, Chloe's got Clark tells her a plan to like fake how to tell Alicia that that Sheriff Adam thinks that Clark that Sheriff Adam suspects that Clark did, but she but but she buys it, and she's like, hey Clark, and Clark tells her about it, and but but she's like, sorry, she's like she's like Clark, I mean, because of the lead paint affects her, and she can't use her abilities. So she's like, just because I can't use my abilities, Clark, doesn't mean I can't walk out of here. And he's like, well, I heard about I heard about your talk with your parents, and now I know your weakness to to kryptonite, and she's weakness Clark. Yeah, so she tries to go after Lana because she's like, because she's like, Clark loves you, but I love him, and Clark loves, but I want Clark's love, and tries to kill Lana, but she ends up knocking her out, and Clark uses his vision to spray lead paint on her, and that just like gets rid of her, that's just not temporarily knocks out her powers. Something happens to her, so then Lana goes over to Clark's house, and she's like, and then Clark says that I thought I liked Alicia because she was just like Clark, and she's like, no, nobody's like you, Clark, because no one can be Clark Kent. So yeah, no one can be just like you. So then we see, so then Lana talks to Lex, and she's like, the Adam problem's over. He's never gonna again. So then we see Lionel, and he's talking to Adam, and he's like, "What was your mission, Adam? To talk to befriend Lana, so she could, so she could, so she could tell you more about Clark." So the whole reason why Adam is here was in the show, in the Smallville, was so he faked his accident. I think, I don't know. Anyway, so he could get more information about Lana from Clark. Lionel needs to let this go. basically, and then Adam says, "Help me," and that's how the episode. Let me talk about the one. Alicia, she was psycho. Like, I liked her from the beginning of the episode, but she just became psycho after that. Lionel, he still lets go. He still let this whole Clark thing go and get back to who he actually cares about, his own son. And he doesn't care about, but he needs to let go of this Clark thing. And Lana, she thinks Adam's done, but nope, I don't think he is. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, because have a wonderful day. I'll see you next Smallville.